Welcome back. It's lovely to have you with us again. And it's time now to look ahead at great new Cunard voyaging trips for both 2026 and 2027. And there are plenty to choose from. And you can start booking them now with low deposits to lock in some early bird savings on exciting adventures in the graceful, elegant and smart surroundings of fabulous Cunard Voyages.
Yes, indeed. We are going to be looking at the ultimate Caribbean trip, sailing on Cunard's Queen Elizabeth in October 2026, spending 21 nights voyaging in the sunshine and the white sandy beaches.
Oh.
Sounds like absolute heaven. We've also got some amazing quick picks on the way too, featuring some early bird no-fly Cunard voyages.
But first, let's look ahead to February in 2027. Yes, you heard me right.
Wow.
And it's your chance to lock in a great price today on a luxury voyage from Singapore to Malaysia to Sydney in Australia with Cunard's Queen Victoria as part of an epic 30-night cruise and stay package. Well, first fly over to Sydney in Australia. It's a dream city to spend some time. And of course, over our very king and queen have just been there visiting. You'll get to explore the city on a 2-night hotel stay. Oh, when you think of Sydney, you just think, don't you? Sydney Harbour Bridge, Sydney Opera House, obviously all that amazing, beautiful water as well. But there's just, and the beaches, Bondi Beach, Manly Beach, but there's just loads more, isn't there?
And in the harbour is where all the cruise ships go out of as well.
And it's amazing to watch them.
How glam is that?
Oh, fantastic as well. You'll also as well spend your first night on board in Port Willie there. So you've got 2 nights in a hotel, then you're during the cruise ship and 1 night there. So you can really do some watching, can't you, from your cruise ship as well. Just beautiful. It's a very, very outdoorsy way of life because, of course, they've got wonderful weather as well, but that means it's very, very active. Trying the food, amazing. All that lovely local seafood, amazing. Lots going on there. Fabulous way to start the holiday. Then you're going to join Queen Victoria. And as we mentioned, you get your first night on board in port. Now it's 26 nights. Now, when you think of British cruising and kind of bucket list things to do, Cunard is up there. It's just an iconic part of British culture, isn't it? Yeah,
it is, because it's kind of the epitome of glamour, isn't it?
Traditional glamour, because I think you've got these amazing modern cruise lines, which is really, really beautiful, but there's something very, very tasteful and traditional about Cunard.
And I love the fact that, and I say this all the time, but there are only 4 ships.
Yeah.
And there's the whole world, and there's a lot of people around the world that cruise. You know, people will literally, I mean, we make TV shows for our Australian brand as well, and people will fly all the way over from Sydney to London to come and join a Cunard voyage. They will follow around the world. And that's just Australia. Think about the States and how many people are there who also want to take their Cunard voyage, be it the transatlantic from New York to Southampton or somewhere else. You know, we've got the Caribbean coming up later and so much more. And this cruise, of course. So I love that because it kind of feels really exclusive. Because you think about it, Cunard have an amazing reputation. They could have 26 ships out there by now. You know, lots of other cruise lines, their ship numbers are in the 20s and 30s. You know, and Cunard, 4.
Very, very exclusive.
4 ships.
I can't believe that. You always tell me that, and I'm always shocked every time you tell me.
Yeah.
They've got what they do it so well, and they do it so, so perfectly. I went on a Cunard trip, not trip, you know, when we go and explore the cruise ships. What surprised me, like I said, because I was saying how traditional it is like you imagine sort of the beautiful London Savoy Hotel used to be at its time. It's got that feel about it. Lovely mahogany polished walls, and then you go in the lift, you do feel you're in this very, very traditional, gorgeous British 5-star hotel. It's lovely.
And in saying that, remember here we are cruising around Australia, the Philippines, off to Hong Kong and then off to Vietnam. You don't need to be in those very, very hot places in your dinner suit in the middle of the day.
Yes.
It's very comfortable. It's very where you are cruising, or voyaging, should I say, with Cunard. So this is wonderful because, yes, of an evening, and there's my friend Rachel, of an evening,
yes, wine,
of course, you love to dress up and look the part for a cruise, but during the day, you're in a lovely fair weather part of the world. So are you ready? Let's cruise out of Sydney.
Arriving in Ellie Beach. Now, this is part of the Whitsundays area, and when you think of Whitsundays, you just think, oh my goodness, absolutely beautiful. Best sailing conditions in Australia. You've got gentle breezes, surrounded by gorgeous tropical islands. Look at those crystal clear waters. Next, we're going on to Townsville. Look at that. And I think you're just appreciating when you see how green, how beautiful it is as well there. You've got Castle Hill, the Billabong Sanctuary and the Strand. Fantastic little excursions that we can arrange for you if you want us to as well. On to Cairns next. Now, this is the gateway to the Great Barrier Reef. When you think of that, you think of all those gorgeous marine species, over 1,500. You've got the ancient rainforest as well there. Gorgeous waterfalls to explore and lots of little hippie towns as well. Great place to go. A few days at sea and you're going to arrive in Indonesia, in Bitung. Here you've got the Lembah Strait. It's one of the world's premier dive destinations, if that's your thing as well. You can do all sorts there and see lovely underwater creatures, if that's your thing. A day at sea, you're going to arrive in the Philippines, in Puerto Princesa. Now, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site and it's one of the new 7 wonders of nature, and it's a must-see visit. You've got the underground river while you're there, a limestone karst landscape with a river that flows through a cave system. Amazing. A day at sea, you're going to arrive in Manila. Now, here you've got Intramuros. It's the oldest district in Manila. It dates back to the Spanish colonial era, and it's a walled city, and you've got lots of lovely historical sites within. Fantastic, great thing to do. A day at sea, arriving in Hong Kong, where we've got an overnight on board in port, which is amazing because I think Hong Kong's the kind of city by day is completely different, so lit up by night as well. Lots going on there, very busy place. You might want to go to the Tsim Sha Tsui Promenade, one of the best places to enjoy the views of the Hong Kong skyline as well. They've got the Symphony of Light show in the night time. A day at sea, you'll arrive in Chiang Mai, where you can get tours to Hue or Da Nang. The Imperial City, known as the Citadel, is Hue's most famous landmark. It's a vast complex. It was once the political, cultural and religious centre of the area. Amazing. A day at sea and you've gone to Phu My, where we'll take you on tours to Ho Chi Minh City. A great starting point for a day trip to the Mekong Delta as well. You've got a vast network of rivers, floating markets, fruit orchards and rural villages. I just love the idea of a floating market. A day at sea, arriving in Singapore, where we've got an overnight on board for you. Amazing, because there's lots going on at night there. Of course, you've got the world's first night zoo, and it's just a city of waterfalls, but they're man-made. I know, a man-made waterfall. Amazing. The locals there speak Singlish, not English, a combination. Lots going on. Fantastic city before coming home on your flight to the UK.
Okay, 2-pager this one, so there's lots to see. Your flight out to Sydney, of course, you've got your hotel stay there, and then you're on board Queen Victoria, going up from Sydney, up the Queensland coast there to the top, and then we head on to Manila and the Philippines, Hong Kong, and then on to Vietnam, finishing in Singapore with an overnight in Singapore, so still time to explore the city before you then fly back to the UK. I was just looking as well, because you might be looking at the time of year this is going and thinking, okay, is this a good time to kind of go down to that part of the world? Well, of course, because it's down under, everything's upside down in Australia, isn't it? So actually, this is the back end of their summer in Australia. So your average daytime temperature highs in Sydney when you're arriving is around about 25, 26 degrees. So very comfortable indeed. So a good time to go, actually, not overly hot either, because in the height of their summer it can go up into the high 30s and even up into the 40s as well. So it's a very comfortable time of year to be down under. And what an incredible package, right? And this is for the start of 2027. Talk about advanced planning. But it's a big trip, so deposits available on this one, just £450 each today. And remember, it's a big one, this one, 30 nights in all. We include the flight from the UK over to Sydney, 2 nights in a hotel there before joining Queen Victoria with Cunard for 26 nights of voyaging, sailing Queensland ports in Oz, including the ones for the Barrier Reef as well, which is brilliant. Then over to Indonesia, the Philippines, Hong Kong and Vietnam, ending with your overnight in Singapore. And then, of course, your flight back to the UK included too. I am surprised that we are getting 30 nights of very distant holiday for this kind of price tag. And remember, we're looking forward to the start of 2027. So some real planning here. Just over 2 years away. Amazing. That's incredible, isn't it? And we're looking at under £5,000 each. So this is a great one. Maybe come 2027, maybe that's a landmark birthday in 2027. Maybe that's maybe that's just, you know, a good deal to lock in right now for your deposit of less than £500 each. Let's look at the upgrades actually, because that's a pretty good starting point, given that, you know, Cunard is a very different type of cruise. In fact, I'm reticent to say the word cruise because it is a voyage, and they quite rightly hold that title of voyage rather than cruise, because it's something that's very, very special indeed. It's amazing. So there are your prices to upgrade as you want to there, but an amazing deal at less than £5,000 there. If you want to add nights in Hong Kong, or indeed not in Hong Kong, in Singapore or Sydney, because the cruise starts in Sydney and finishes in Singapore, then of course, then just talk to the team and we can make that happen for you indeed. 0800 953 4700 is the telephone number to call. Remember, that call is absolutely free. We are here 7 days a week for you as well. In fact, let's take a closer look back at this as well. Let's fly first over to Sydney, of course, Dream City. So we've got a couple of nights there in a hotel. Of course, the King and Queen have just been there on a little tour,
yes.
haven't they? They spent some time in Sydney, so you can be there. It is a lovely city to go and see. And yes, try and get some of the hot spots sorted. Bondi Beach, Mrs. Macquarie's Chair, you know, wonderful surfing if you can. You know, lovely, lovely thing to do. And then you are on board. Oh my word, you lucky, lucky people. This is what, 26 nights on this cruise? It's incredible to think of all of that wonderful opulence. And again, go back to what we were saying at the beginning of the show. Cunard only have 4 ships in the fleet worldwide. And that is incredible in its own right. And remember, when you go and see the shows of an evening, you're
in the Royal Court Theatre.
Thank you very much.
You know?
You are going to the Royal Court Theatre, and you know what? You're not handing over a ticket at the door. You're not queuing up at the box office to buy that ticket, because that show is included in your cruise, which is phenomenal. And how special will that feel? I think there'll be a fair few pinch me moments while you're on this cruise. You know, maybe you want to try your hand at a couple of fencing lessons. Why not? I don't know. Well, you know, when on Cunard.
I mean, when else are you going to get the opportunity to do that?
That's very true.
I love the theatre. Does look spectacular, and you could as well have one of these special boxes. Maybe it's a special anniversary trip. You know, this is a special trip you've waited to do. Why not do that? Glass of champagne in the royal box.
Yeah.
As you watch one of the wonderful shows. You've got theatre shows, illusionists. You've got comedians, live music. There's a lot of fantastic entertainment on board.
Yeah, you'll also enjoy live presentations of information on the areas that you are going to as well. So there'll be suggestions there on, you know, some of the best things to do. Of course, Cunard have an amazing array of different excursion opportunities as you're going around the ports themselves. And, you know, of an evening as well, we were talking about how, you know, things change from day to night. Of course, here you're cruising temperate parts of the world, so you know, shorts and t-shirt up on deck, fine, no problem whatsoever. It's kind of like 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, and that's where, you know, that's where things change for the evening, and that's where it's quite nice to go and get changed.
Yes.
And you know, fetch out those ball gowns that haven't seen the light of day for a wee while, since the last wedding or whatever it was, the last big occasion. Gents, get the suit out, give it a try, see how it's doing for size.
Does it fit? Because that's always the issue.
Absolutely. Well, check that out before you go, and then enjoy the greater things in life of an evening, because life is all about lavishing in those really, really lovely occasions. You know, it's not something you do every single day.
For sure.
So it's quite nice to enjoy it, and it's also quite nice to enjoy it on the other side of the world as well. I mean, this will be very, very special. Think about your first night on board, you're actually in Sydney. So, you know, that picture you see on the right-hand side there, that's where you are. That's where you start your journey. And then you cruise around the Queensland coast of Australia, which is great, up to the north, via the ports for the Barrier Reef and great beaches, on then to a fascinating part of the world, the Philippines. And remember, a lot of the crew and the teams on board cruise ships originate in the Philippines as well. So such a great knowledge there. To Hong Kong, Vietnam, and into Singapore for the overnight where you fly back. An amazing price, an amazing deal, incredible. And if you want to know more, any other questions, by the way, that we don't get to answer in the show, just pop a call into our team. It's free to call, 0800 953 4700.
Now, if you're a planner like me, don't forget there are many sailings that have been released for late 2026 and early 2027, which you can actually book today with low deposits and early bird savings. All you need to do is go to the website Cruise1st.tv or give us a call. That's the new thing, isn't it? Do you do that, or do you go give us a call?
Give us a call.
Apparently the younger generations go give us a call. But we go give us a call because we're used to our phone. Anyway, next up, we're heading to the ultimate in Caribbean voyaging in October 2026 on a 23-night dream holiday. First, we're going to fly you from the UK out to Miami in the States for a one-night hotel stay. What a city. Those buildings, those Art Deco buildings along the south beach front are so beautiful, all pastel coloured, just lovely. South Beach itself is just wonderful. Great place for people watching. There's people with their speakers, there's people working out on the beach, there's people posing. Fantastic city, absolutely. Posing. Oh my gosh, people have got tripods. It's like a full selfie session. Anything goes in Miami. It's just, it's a fantastic, vibrant place.
Sounds good.
Great place to have your one-night pre-cruise stay before joining Queen Elizabeth. Oh yes, I mean, like you say, we're going to be cruising around a very, very warm, lovely part of the world, 21 nights. So you might want to dress in your finest gowns, or you might want to be more casual because it's a little bit warmer.
Oh, yeah.
But I think Cunard's one of those things where you are going to want to dress up. You are going to want to do the formal nights as well, because it's a treat. It's just part of the Cunard experience.
Well, I think that's why you go for a Cunard cruise, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Is so that you just get that little taste of, and I say a little taste, this is a 3-week cruise.
Oh,
so
yes, please.
that's quite some hefty taste of, you know, the high life. And remember, we're cruising around the Caribbean, so daytime, easy breezy, get your shirts on like mine, get your shorts on and enjoy the fabulous weather and enjoy the wonderful surroundings. And, you know, what is going to be happening if you have got sea days, you've got a few sea days on this itinerary, is that's where everyone will be, up on the top deck, lavishing the sunshine, enjoying the service.
And it's so lovely. So you're going to the sunshine, you're going to the Caribbean, but like we've said, this is very, very traditional British cruising. So they have things like afternoon tea. You can upgrade that to a champagne afternoon tea.
You can.
And it's probably going to be the best afternoon tea you've ever had.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, just crispy cucumber sandwiches made by someone else in the Caribbean.
As soon as you know what time afternoon tea is, you'll start working your day around afternoon tea.
Oh, it's making me hungry now. I'm visualising cake.
Well, even if you're in port, you'll be like, oh, hang on a second, it's nearly afternoon tea time. Let's get back to the ship.
Lovely restaurants on board. I mean, main dining itself, the Britannia, is just amazing, but you've got wonderful speciality dining as well. And then if you want to do something more relaxed, there's the Golden Lion pub on board. Who doesn't like just going to just go to a pub? Now, cruising out of Miami, and you're going to arrive in Grand Turks and Caicos. Again, I mean, we are talking sunshine. We're talking beautiful beaches. If you've been scuba diving before, great place to do it as well. Vibrant coral and marine life. A day at sea, and we're arriving in Willemstad, Curaçao. Now here you've got the floating Queen Emma Bridge. You can go swimming with sea turtles. Oh, that sounds lovely. Loads of excursions to go and kind of see marine life as well. If you don't want to swim with them, you can look at them from a boat if you like. Maybe that's more your thing. Next, we're going to Bonaire. Now, off the coast of the National Marine Park, there's a coral reef there, sheltering all sorts of tropical fish. But you've got beautiful sandy beaches to relax, but they're also a place for nesting of sea turtles as well. Amazing. Aruba next. Again, this is the place to have lovely, dazzling white beaches, but away from the beach, there's fascinating desert-like landscapes, colourful architecture, vibrant art as well. Beautiful. A couple of days at sea, and you're going to be arriving in Miami. It's your second chance to go and see this incredible city. There's great shopping. It's also a great starting point to go down up to the Everglades and see alligators, or down to the Keys and go swimming with dolphins. Amazing excursions, or maybe you just want to do some people watching. Just relax while you're there as well. A couple of days at sea, arriving in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Here you just want to take a lovely stroll along the Paseo de la Princesa. It's a beautiful promenade. Gorgeous waterfront features, lush gardens, sculptures, and the views of the San Juan Bay are just spectacular. St. John's in Antigua. I mean, here there's like more beaches than there are days in the year, 366. Lovely, but you might just want to relax at the harbour there as well. There's great shopping in that area, duty free, which is fantastic. So make sure you've got room in your suitcase. Barbados is next. It's Castries St. Lucia next. Now here, you can go into the rainforest, and if you are adventurous, you can go zip lining through the rainforest. I've actually did that on my honeymoon.
Oh, did you?
It was amazing. Now we do go to Barbados next, Bridgetown. I mean, here obviously the beaches, but actually surprisingly for me, there's a trove of architectural and cultural treasures as well. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. You've got George and St Mary's Church, the Parliament you can visit as well. A day at sea, and it's Philipsburg, St Martin. Now, Front Street's the main shopping area. You've got duty-free shops, boutique souvenir stores, great place if you want to get some jewellery, electronics, clothing and local crafts. Amazing, amazing beaches to relax, go swimming, those beautiful turquoise waters. Road Town in Tortola next. Now, the Road Town Harbour is the heart of the city. Great to watch those boats come and go area, lined with shops, cafes and restaurants. It's a really nice place to just take a leisurely walk and just see those gorgeous waterfront views and enjoy the beautiful temperatures. A couple of days at sea, you'll cruise to Miami where you'll get your flight home.
Do you know the thing I've just spotted as well, just while you were going through the itinerary there, you've got 21 nights around the Caribbean. It's two cruises. This is a back-to-back cruise, actually, but they're both different routes. But you're not repeating any of the destinations, which is really, really good, which usually to get a longer duration in the Caribbean, there's probably some repeating of.
Well, you start in Miami, and we do call in there, but that's fantastic because it's the kind of place that you want to go, isn't it, and see.
It's amazing. I love it. I mean, you know, what's not to love about the Caribbean? You know that I'm on the doorstep of going to the Caribbean. I can't wait. I'm ready to go. Pat's cases are behind the sofa. Anyway, Sunshine Getaway for the end of next October. Deposits today on this, just £250 per person to get the price that we have locked in for you. That's the flight out to Miami, a night in a hotel there, and then 21 nights of Caribbean cruising on Queen Elizabeth with Cunard, enjoying the very finest that they have to offer. Back to Miami at the end of the cruise for the flight back to the UK. And honestly, if this was a cruise in and out of the UK at 21 nights at that price with Cunard, you would jump at it, absolutely jump at it. The fact that this is flying you out to Miami and then it is 3 weeks of cruising, back-to-back 2 cruises around the Caribbean, different routes, no itinerary repeats at all, 2699, or deposit today of just £250 each. It is incredible. Should we have a look at the upgrades? Why not? Because we've got such a good price tag there to start with. You're living the high life already. And let's face it, you're going to spend most of this cruise outside, right? You're going to be up on deck. Take plenty of shorts. That makes actually a holiday like this easier to pack for and lighter to pack for, isn't it? Because, you know, it's shorts and t-shirts galore, isn't
Guaranteed
it, really?
sunshine.
And of course, yeah, you'll need a couple of the, you know, tuxes and gowns and whatever, and a couple of shoe choices, ladies. I joke, a couple. 2699 per person is your price tag right now, or £250 each deposit on this one. It's a stunning, stunning holiday. 26th of October in 2026 is when this all starts. Let's run it again, shall we? A night in Miami first. We fly off there and have a night in a hotel in Miami. So, you know, just lavish in it. I mean, it might just be that you just want the reassurance of knowing I'm here on time. There's no way I can miss my cruise. I'm here in Miami. I'm ready to start. I'm ready to go. We're about to get on board Queen Elizabeth for 3 weeks of Caribbean cruising. And just, I mean, I know you see it on the itinerary list, but just to reiterate, it's not day after day after day, port after port after port. There are bunches of sea days in there as well. So your first day, for instance, when you get on board in Miami, your first day's at sea, which is amazing. So you can just kind of get everything sorted in your cabin, get everything the right way round.
Oh, you know me well.
Explore the ship, go do the first look in the shops.
Get your bearings.
Of that. Yes, just get your bearings, yeah. And then you've got plenty of other sea days along the itinerary. Remember, this is a back-to-back cruise as well, so you do come back to Miami in the middle of the cruise for an extra day. So, you know, anything that you thought, oh, we should have done that right at the start in Miami, don't worry, you come back in for another day in the middle of this 3 weeks, which is pretty good. And of course, you end the cruise in Miami, and if you want us to add a couple of nights in a hotel at the end of the cruise to that, we can do that for you, no problem. But just think about it. Just quite aside from the Caribbean for a second, this could be cruising anywhere.
Yes.
For 21 nights. 21 nights of enjoying the best food of your life, to enjoying a wonderful stateroom on a fleet of ships of which there are only 4. that is beautifully appointed, beautifully looked after, beautifully kitted out for you. You're going to the most incredible shows of an evening. You've got the most wonderful choices of restaurants. You've got things like afternoon tea, that feeling of grandeur, that living the high life. And that's completely aside the Caribbean. That's just the ship. That's just Queen Elizabeth. So imagine how good that will be. And then times that by 1,000, because as you're about to see, then we spend 3 weeks going around the highlights and the hotspots of the Caribbean. And remember, your flights to and from Miami included in this offer. Your night in a hotel before you cruise included in your offer. Your 3 weeks of Cunard voyaging included in the price that you see there on screen. And that's full board, remember. It's amazing. Yes, there are specialty dining restaurants, but if you just dine main dining right the way through your Cunard voyage, you will have felt like the king and queen themselves. Now listen, jump on the phone lines and talk to our team about that one. Any questions or any changes you want to make, absolutely fine. And if you fancy taking your fingers for a walk around the world, then check out the latest Cunard offers on our website at Cruise1st.tv. But first, let's take you on a whistle-stop tour of some of Cunard's many no-fly cruises for 2026 and into 2027 as well. So let's start at the top then, shall we? CL173. 12 nights on board Queen Anne, which is the newest, of course, of the 4, on the 1st of November 2026 to Portugal, Madeira and the Azores, to and from Southampton, so a no-flyer this one, 979 per person. Amazing. Then the one in the middle there is CL174. That's 2 weeks of no-fly med cruising on the 7th of April in 2027. That's how far in advance we're booking right now. Low deposit available on that one on Queen Anne from 1,229 per person. And then we've got the one at the bottom there, CL175, which is no fly up to Norway and the fjords, of course, on Queen Mary 2. This goes on the 14th of March in 2027 for 12 nights from 1,149 per person. As I say, on all of those, there are low deposits available as well, and they are early bird savings. So I would get in and book those as quickly as you possibly can. You might well be thinking to yourself, 2027? We're doing this right now because we are locking in amazing price tags. We're being offered great prices to book early with a low deposit. We are putting very advanced plans in place, but we are getting reasons to do that. We're getting a lower price and we've got a low deposit as well. It also allows you to make some superb plans. I mean, 3 weeks cruising Cunard around the Caribbean. I don't think I've seen that before, to be honest with you.
No,
I don't think I have.
That's an extremely good point.
Yeah, it is good. I love it. Anyway, listen, if that's given you a few sparks of inspiration, brilliant. If you want to look at the other offers, as I say, they're all on the website. I can't believe we're opening up the bookings for 2027.
I know.
That's amazing.
It does seem crazy, but it seems so exciting. The world is a massive place, and think of all the holidays we could fit in between now and 2027.
But it also means there's more saving up time.
More saving up time, exactly, to do that really epic special adventure, because we deserve it, don't we? You deserve it.
Sure.
There's always something to celebrate and always a reason to have one of these fantastic holidays. And if you've always wanted to cruise Cunard, I think now's the time to book it. Now is the time to do it. Don't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I think we should be more ambitious in our holiday plans as the years go by. See more of the world while we can. Anyway, listen, and we're out of time for now. We'll be back very soon, though. See you later.
Bye-bye.